Hey guys, it's Simmy. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 14th of August 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. And for the most part, I want to say, actually, well, no, not just for the most part. For more than the most part, I enjoyed tonight's Friday Night Smackdown, to be completely honest. I was intrigued by a number of things. Especially there at the end, I just couldn't take my eyes off screen because I wanted to see what happened with Braun and Alexa, which is very good in their part because it kept me like, where's this going? What the heck? Oh my God. And then it ended kind of crappy, but the segment itself as a whole I thought was pretty good. And I'm very interested to see where it leads to next week and at SummerSlam. And I'll talk about more of that when we get to the end. But with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited, or if you're watching later on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, if you miss any of the live show, you can always... Let me rephrase that. I'm going too fast. Remember, if you miss any of the live show, you can always go back to our YouTube and watch any of our podcasts, any of our Twitch streams, video on demand over there. Also, if you're here with us live on Twitch, help us out. Support us here any way possible. There's a couple of different ways you can. You can either donate some bits here on Twitch, or you can subscribe to us one of two different ways. Either you can hit that subscribe button and just give us a tier 1 subscription, or if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Twitch Prime. And if you have Twitch Prime, then that means that you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel that you want to support throughout the month. And I would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you gave us that Twitch subscription. Also, remember, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. The number will be on the screen periodically throughout the show. It's 510-906-1341. It's down there right now. Oh, no, we just lost it. So with that, Smackdown. I'm just going to mention it one time and not mention it again. I already see Rodney in the chat mentioning it. Smackdown was TV 14 tonight. And honestly, that doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter one bit if it's PG or if it's TV 14, because WWE is still going to run the show the exact same. Maybe the reason, and I don't know this, but maybe the reason it was rated TV 14 is because there was excessive violence on tonight's show. Retribution beating people up backstage, Braun putting his hands on Alexa Bliss. So maybe that's why the show had to be rated TV 14. But to be completely honest, 100%, whether it's PG or TV 14, it ain't going to make a lick of a difference because it's still going to feel like the same WWE show every single other week. So I just want to get that out of the way before any more people ask, because I did see somebody put it in the chat, Rodney, with the waves. And I know more people are going to ask because I got a lot of DMs on Twitter about this. And like I said to everybody else, the rating of the show, whether it's PG or TV 14, really doesn't matter. They're going to run the same type of show, and the only thing I can think of is maybe there was a little bit more excessive violence on the show that can't be considered PG. Whether that's Retribution beating people up backstage and destroying property, or that was Braun putting his hands on Alexa, I don't know. Speaking of Retribution, they ruined the open of the show. Because the show kicked off with an angle about Retribution and their attack last week. On commentary, Michael Cole noted that the group is hiding behind current events. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean. But Corey pointed out that WWE increased security tonight. Yeah, we saw how well that worked. Didn't work at all. I don't know if maybe they just all took a break and left when Sheamus told them to leave ringside area. I don't know. But ramping up security didn't make two licks of a difference this week. Corey Graves, Michael Cole gave us a lineup, and then Big E came out, and John Morrison came out, but no Miz. Which is weird, because Miz and Morrison They're like PB&J. They're like two peas in a pod. They don't go anywhere alone, except for, well, they did tonight. So as Big E and Morrison made their way down to the ring, they aired interviews from earlier today. Big E discussed his singles career and noted, hey, people think this is the first time I'm going to be a singles guy? Well, you're wrong. I'm a former NXT champion, and I'm a former Intercontinental champion. Morrison mocked Big E and promised to put an end to his singles career before it even gets started. They never ended up having the match, though, because Retribution would run in like a minute in, not even a minute in. Bunch of them stood on the announce desk. Michael Cole and Corey Graves ran off, and then they attacked Big E and Morrison. And it seemed like there was a lot more of them than there was last week. So here's my question. We see this female jump up on the apron, her hair flowing out of her hoodie, black and purple hair. Was that Brandy Rhodes? It's the only female in wrestling that I can think of with the black and purple, with the black hair and the purple streaks. Is there any female in WWE with that hair? Not that I can recall. So I have no clue who that female could have been. You know, last week I predicted maybe Vanessa Bourne, Chelsea Green, but that wasn't either of them. That hair didn't match either of them, so I don't know. They beat down Morrison and Big E. They tried to fight back, but, well, the numbers were too much. Suddenly, a member of Retribution... Retribution ran out of the ring. They jumped off the announce table and took off. Miz would finally run down at the last moment. And he was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. Oh, I should have been here with you. And so we go to commercial, and when we come back, we got a bunch of people in the back. They're all huddled around Morrison and Big E. And Miz was like, you know, I would have been out there with you, but I was on the phone with Maurice. There were some pH levels wrong at our house, and we got lost track of time. And yeah, whatever, Miz. That was the lamest excuse for Miz not being out there when he's always out there with Morrison. And he wasn't even in gear or in like a suit like Miz usually wears. Miz was in like, I just got off the plane clothes. Which is very weird. Wearing Daniel Bryan type clothes, jeans, t-shirt, and a flannel over it. So, Miz blamed Big E for all this, though, for sending out a tweet that I never saw. And the tweet must have upset Retribution. Miz and Morrison left when King Corbin approached and said that he's the leader that everybody needs right now. Big E got fired up and promised to defeat John Morrison later on tonight and get revenge on Retribution. Sheamus mocked Big E for not having Xavier and Kofi at his side. Sheamus said Retribution wouldn't even dare try to interfere in his match because they're scared of him. Big E got in his face and noted that he's not alone. And as he walked off, Gulak, Shorty G, and Lucha House Party all left with him. And then the few heels we've got there, King Corbin, Sheamus, Nakamura, and Cesaro just kind of stood there like, what happened? Where'd you guys go? So next up, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley, and the Raw Women's Champion, Sasha Banks, made their way down to the ring. Sasha noted that at SummerSlam, she's going to defend her title against Asuka, but then at Payback, they have to defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. So they confirmed, and Michael Cole confirmed it later as well, Payback will be taking place 1 week after SummerSlam, August 30th. They did not state who will be challenging for the SmackDown Women's titles. Or not the SmackDown Women's title. The WWE Tag Team Champion. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. So, Bayley and Sasha Banks had these cards. And they said, you know, we're going to add another job to our resumes. Ring announcers. Greg Hamilton, we don't need you tonight. And they started introducing the different women coming down for this match. Like Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox, the Iconics, and then all of a sudden Bayley's reading a card and she goes, whoa, this can't be right. Nope, typo. This isn't, nope. And all of a sudden Asuka would make her way down to the ring. Asuka would run in and attack Bayley and Sasha Banks. The three would brawl, and before other women would make their way down to the ring for the match to start. Participants in this match were Asuka, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, Bianca Belair, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Tamina, and Shayna Baszler. This is nothing more than your typical battle royal. Quick eliminations early, then it drags for a minute or two, and then more eliminations till we get to the end when it's Asuka and Shayna Baszler. The two go at it before Asuka gets thrown over the top rope but lands on the apron. Shayna then goes to put Asuka in the Karafuda clutch, but for some reason, I guess Shayna wanted to get more torque on it, so she starts climbing up the ropes to get leverage, and Asuka would snapmare her over the top rope and eliminate Shayna, winning and getting a SmackDown Women's title match against Bayley at SummerSlam. So now, Asuka will have 2 matches, or as Bayley would say, dos matches at SummerSlam. She will not just be challenging Bayley for SmackDown Women's Championship, but she's also challenging Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. So, will Asuka walk out with 2 belts? I don't know. I could see her beating Sasha and not Bayley because she beat Bayley on Raw, so maybe Bayley's going to get Retribution, get that win back. Sasha loses the belt because maybe Bayley screws something up. Because, as we learned later, Bayley said she's going to really have to try now at SummerSlam because now there's something on the line that she cares about. And when Sasha heard her say that, Sasha stopped in her tracks and was like, dude, what? And then they were attacked by Asuka before everyone was pulled apart. That happened after the break, after the match. Kind of jumped ahead there. To recap the Mandy Rose Sonya Deville angle, in the back, Rose said that Deville's not the first person to say that she gets everything just because of her looks. She said it hurts her till this day. She's heard that her entire life. She said, if stuff was just handed to me, then I wouldn't have had to work 3 jobs while going to school and winning a bikini championship. She then said that she challenges Sonya Deville to a hair versus hair match because when she defeats Sonya Deville and shaves her head, she will prove that Sonya also cares about how she looks in her selfies. Sheamus is coming out for his match against Shorty G. Told 2 security guys, hey, we don't need you here watching the ramp tonight. You guys can go take a break. No one's coming down for my match, which Sheamus wasn't wrong. So they took off. We get this match, but before the match starts, we see Nikki Cross backstage. She sees Alexa Bliss, runs up and hugs her. Alexa not really wanting to speak. She tries to apologize, and Alexa goes, She tries to apologize to Alexa, and she goes, it's okay. I just need to get some answers from Braun Strowman tonight. I'm a little preoccupied. So next up, we got Sheamus versus Shorty G. This match was all right. Wasn't much to it. Sheamus had the early advantage, but Shorty G fought back. He was briefly in control and hit a series of cross faces. Sheamus recovered and beat down Shorty G. Shayna made a comeback and hit a missile drop kick. No, Shorty hit a comeback. I don't know why I read that as Shayna. Shorty hit a comeback and a missile drop kick. He then got the ankle lock on Sheamus, but Sheamus broke free. Shorty G rolled up Sheamus for a near fall. Sheamus took back over with a white noise and won with the bro kick. So in the back, we see AJ Styles and none other than the former Abyss, Joseph Park. And they're looking at a laptop. I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting here thinking, AJ showing him his Twitch? I don't know. And then they start talking about how AJ's going to talk about statistics and who should actually deserve a Intercontinental Championship match based off of statistics. So after the break, AJ Styles and Joseph Park make their way down to the ring. God help me. Well, ask you right now, keep this thing a thing. These two together could be so good. So good. We know that Joseph Park is a great performer. You know, AJ Styles is a great performer. I want to see where this goes. Please not one and done. So AJ comes down to the ring and says he isn't worried about Retribution. He's got more pressing matters, such as defending his title at SummerSlam, which, as we learn later, doesn't look like he is defending it next week on SmackDown. Styles starts talking about statistics and his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Styles Clash. Starts plugging that for a few minutes, or for a minute or so. So the users keep asking him on there in the chat, who are you going to defend your title against next? Who are you going to defend your title against SummerSlam? And he sarcastically said, why should I? Styles said that he hired a statistic team. And they're called the Phenomenal Intercontinental Statistic System. PISS. And the crowd, well, first when he starts talking about his Twitch, crowd starts chanting nerd at AJ Styles. Then, when he starts talking about PISS, they start chanting piss. Again, the man in the chat says, WWE God, please give us the Monster Abyss. I mean, they could, but I don't see why we need that. He's a retired wrestler. He's not an active wrestler anymore. But if he can do every couple of weeks out here with AJ, that'd be funny. Like, he doesn't need to come out next week during the title match, but if it comes out like a week or two later where AJ's like, we need to find a new challenger, who's on the list? Oh, nobody. So, Broken King Slender, a few years back, because of all the Matt Hardy stuff, Impact did state that anybody that uses a gimmick in their company, even if it was created in their company, can use it when they leave. So, he can be Abyss if he wants. I don't know if they own the trademark on it or not, but he can do it because they stated anybody, even if your character was created in Impact, can take that character and use it outside of Impact. That all happened after all the Matt Hardy hoopla. So he starts talking, AJ that is, about names on this list. And he says, well, the top name is, he pulls off a little piece of paper or whatever, and it's him, Intercontinental Champion AJ Styles. He then states that there's more names on the list. Number 2, 3, 4, 5. And who are they? Well, and he pulls the rest of the paper off, and he goes, nobody, because nobody else deserves a title. Because they have to earn it, they're not given it. That's when Jeff Hardy would make his way down to the ring. Jeff Hardy said that he respects AJ. He's known him for a long time, and he wants to face him for the championship because, and Jeff has a point here, he said he was in that Intercontinental Championship tournament and never got a fair shake because he was taken out of the tournament when he got arrested. He said he was framed by Sheamus and never got to actually advance in that tournament. Hardy would then go on to challenge AJ for the title. Styles praised Hardy and noted that he deserved to be on the board. Yet, if Styles is going to accept the challenge, well, that's a hell no. Hardy said that he has earned this shot, and Styles got in his face. Hardy snapped and attacked AJ, hit him with a twist of fate, and then put his name on the board, signing it himself. I thought this segment was really, really good. Both AJ and Jeff came off really well. Joseph Park being there just kind of like the, well, what do you say now, boss? Kind of deal, like just waiting for AJ to tell him what to do next was kind of good. So we'll see. We'll see. In the back, we see Sheamus and, Shinsuke and Cesaro. And Lucha House Party steal the tag team titles. We also saw AJ with Joseph Park. He was furious that he was attacked by Jeff Hardy, and he vented. He said that, I'm going to erase Jeff Hardy. And he goes to erase Jeff Hardy's name off this big old board that Joseph Park is holding, and he can't. So he yells at Joseph Park. He goes, what? You brought a permanent marker? It's permanent? I thought that was pretty funny. Kayla Braxton tried to interview him, and Styles noted Hardy doesn't respect him or analytics. I thought that was another funny little moment by AJ. He's trying to wipe the stuff off with his glove, then he pulls his vest, and he's trying to wipe it off with his vest. AJ's got some good comedic chops. I'll say it right now. On commentary, Michael Cole twice noted that there are rumors that next week's Smackdown will not be taking place from the Performance Center, but a different location. Corey Graves also pointed out that the WWE Universe, well, they're going to be able to be involved in next week's Smackdown. Next up, we got Grand Metalik against Shinsuke and Nakamura. This was a pretty good match. I had fun with it while it lasted. Lucha House Party came down with tag belts, but Cesaro and Nakamura took them back before the match started. Nakamura had the early advantage. Metalik took over, though, after a chinlock. Metalik hit a huge crossbody block and a springboard back elbow for a near fall. Nakamura attempted an exploder suplex, but Metalik landed on his feet and hit a super kick and jumped off the top rope. Cesaro jumped on the apron to cause a distraction. This led to Nakamura regaining control and set up for a Kinshasa. Lucha House Party's music hit when Kalisto would surprisingly make his return tonight. Really good to see Kalisto. Kalisto looking good. Got himself jacked, got a six-pack and all. Dorado and Kalisto worked together to take out Cesaro with the tornado DDT on the ramp. Metalik recovered and hit a springboard elbow on Nakamura to pin him and pick up the victory. So this is probably going to lead to Lucha House Party challenging for the tag titles. In the back, Kayla Braxton interviewed Matt Riddle. He goes, well, bro, well, can I call you bro? She goes, yeah, you can call me bro. They're talking about King Corbin and Corbin's ransom bounty. Riddle mocked Corbin and gloated about costing him his match last week. Suddenly, Shorty G would walk up and apologize for attacking Riddle. Riddle accepted his apology, and then Corbin would attack Riddle from behind. He then thanked Chad for the help, and the two walked off together as Matt Riddle was laid out. Thank you, Jack Dawson, for the bits. Really do appreciate that. We then get an Alexa Bliss interview, and this was a little weird, but played into later, so not bad. Bliss discussed her friendship with Braun Strowman. They showed highlights of their friendship and them teaming together. She noted that her and Braun become really close. They're friends. They taught each other a lot. They did a lot together. And then the interviewer says, well, did your relationship go farther? Like your feelings for Braun? Excuse me. She said, have you developed feelings for Braun Strowman? And she's like, romantically? Well, I mean, maybe. Bliss also noted that she cares for Braun, and she knows that he cares for her. She doesn't know why the Fiend attacked her. She said being in the ring with him is scary and compelling. Bliss understands the idea of a moth to a flame. So she understands why Braun is being pulled to the Fiend. How the Fiend is pulling Braun to him. Then it showed Strowman saying that he didn't care about Bliss last week. The interviewer asked about her feelings for him, and she kind of just looked off and didn't respond. I mean, a sad, sad look. As it went to commercial. Come back and they show Sonya Deville. She mocked Mandy Rose and then accepted her challenge for a hair versus hair match at SummerSlam. Next up, we finally got Big E versus John Morrison with Miz on commentary. Morrison had the early advantage in this match as he targeted Big E's injured knee. They say Big E injured his knee when he was attacked by Retribution. In a cool spot, Morrison attempted a springboard move into the ring, but Big E pushed him to the outside of the ring to the floor. He follows up with a big splash on the apron. Miz distracted Big E at one point, and Morrison used a chop block to the injured knee at ringside. Morrison continued targeting the knee. Otis then ran down to confront Miz. Otis still thinks that Sonya attacking Mandy and cutting her hair is all Miz's fault. The lights start to flicker. Cole freaks out. He screams for security as we go to commercial break. When we come back from break, all the baby faces are surrounding the ringside area. The lights start to flicker again as Morrison and Big E continue their match. We then see Retribution backstage attacking the crew, breaking a bunch of stuff, locking a guy in the crapper, and I think they wrote the W on the brick wall, circled it, and crossed it out. So Michael Cole and Corey Graves are yelling, Retribution's backstage! What are they doing backstage? How'd they get back there? And I think Cole was yelling that, and then Graves goes, these guys don't need to be standing around ringside, they need to get to the back. And my first thought was, well then Cole, Graves, get off your asses and go over to somebody and say, hey, they're in the back, they're causing chaos. Finally, I guess the referee Jessica Carr runs down, and she goes, hey, guys, Retribution's in the back, let's go, let's go, let's go. So they all run out, but they're too little too late. Retribution had already taken off. They assess the damage, and then we go back to ringside where, well, Morrison and Big E, they're still having their match. Morrison was firmly in control at this point, but Big E made a comeback and used a stretch muffler for the victory. He used that last time against Miz too, so maybe it's his new finish. Single Retribution really did take away from this match because, you know, the match was good before that first break before Otis came down. Because after that, the whole point was these wrestlers are around ringside. They're trying to make sure Retribution doesn't come down here. Oh man, Retribution's in the back. And they're showing all this stuff in the back, and you forget this match is going on in the ring. Then they come back and you're like, oh, the match ain't over yet? Okay, cool. After the match, out of nowhere, Sheamus runs down and Brogue kicks Big E. Braun Strowman's music plays, and Sheamus says, screw this, and he runs off. Braun Strowman comes out, and we realize Braun's changed his look a little. Still got the big old beard, but he shaved his head. Bicked it, as they would say. Strowman came out furious and challenged The Fiend to come to the ring right now. He promised The Fiend that he was going to be a different person than before he came out of the swamp. The Fiend didn't come out, though. Alexa Bliss came down. Bliss made her way down to the ring. She said that this isn't the Braun Strowman that she knows. Strowman said, I don't care about you. You used me like a pawn, pulled me by my beard to get what you wanted. The whole time he was not looking at her while speaking to her. Strowman told her that everyone changes when they encounter the Fiend, including her. I think Braun's the one that changed. She said that he'll regret getting what he wants. Bliss then said, look at me while I'm talking to you. Do I have to slap it out of you? She starts slapping Braun across the face. Braun, this isn't you. Braun, wake up. Braun, what is wrong? Braun, this isn't you. Please wake up. Braun would then grab Alexa and press him over his head. As he teased, throwing her from the ring to the floor below, the lights would start to flicker as the Fiend was making his presence known. Strowman would then, while holding Alexa up above his head, pace around the ring. He once again teased throwing her out of the ring before the lights flickered again. The lights eventually went out as he threw Alexa Bliss. As the lights went out, they came back on. The lights were red. Bliss was laying in the ring. The Fiend was in the ring, and Braun was nowhere to be seen. Moments later, Braun would then appear on the big screen and start laughing maniacally. Alexa was holding her gut like she was hurt because she just splatted in the ring. The Fiend, almost seeming concerned, kept looking down at Alexa as far as like, are you okay? Are you okay? Braun kept laughing, so the Fiend started laughing. And that's how the show went off the air. Also, I forgot to mention, we did learn that next week, AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship. So on SmackDown, not at SummerSlam. But back to this. So, I liked the stuff with Braun and Alexa. I thought that was very compelling. The way Braun was like, everybody that comes in encounter with the Fiend changes, including you. Well, she didn't change. She's still the same, but Braun is the one that's changed. Because he's encountered the Fiend like nobody else has except for maybe Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins encountered the Fiend in Hell in a Cell, in Saudi Arabia, and all those other kinds of deals. But no one's encountered him in the swamp like Braun did. And that has really changed Braun. That's what we're supposed to believe. Yes, Alexa encountered the Fiend. But what's the word I'm looking for? Not in a how do you explain this? Any normal way that you encounter an opponent, I guess you could say. So I thought the stuff with Braun and Alexa was really, really good, though. As far as her slapping him, saying, Braun, this isn't you. Braun, snap out of it. Braun, wake up. Like, she cares. He says he doesn't care because that's not the Braun Strowman we know. He's been changed. The Fiend got into his head. And now, I don't know where this is going to lead to, but I'm actually intrigued. I'm actually really intrigued to see where this goes. But with that, guys, that was Friday Night SmackDown. I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about tonight's SmackDown. If If you guys want to let me know what you thought of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Do have a couple text messages here I do want to read before we get going. Actually, we got a number of text messages, more than normal. This person here says, do you think that it's coincidence that everybody encounters the Fiend turns heel? No, because Daniel Bryan didn't. Daniel Bryan's still a babyface. He encountered the Fiend. This person says, are you going to watch the indie content that's coming to the WWE Network tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know when. Not this weekend, because I'm really busy this weekend. Plus, some of those shows I've already seen. This person here states, when do you see Retribution revealing themselves? I have no clue, because, well, they don't even know. This person here says, I enjoyed the show. Cool to see Kalisto back. Very cool to see Kalisto back. This person says, so, is Braun a heel now? I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to judge right now. This person here states, in the backstage attack of Retribution, there was a girl in Retribution with brown hair with pink highlights. I think it's Carmella. Did you recognize that? No, I did not. And Carmella doesn't have brown hair. Carmella's hair is blonde again. It's been blonde for a while. I mean, unless she... No. I mean, she could have dyed it recently, but let me look at something. So Carmella last tweeted a picture of herself. Let's see. Well, it's been a while, I guess. Oh no, 10 days ago, and her hair was blonde. Yes, she could have dyed it by then, but I don't see it. I don't see it being Carmella. It just doesn't make any sense. This person here says, do you see Alexa Bliss interfering in the match and maybe helping the Fiend win the belt? Maybe not helping the Fiend per se, but accidentally screwing Braun, making him go even crazier. And this last section here said, do you think they could make the Fiend a babyface with his character? I mean, they want people to kind of like the Fiend, but I don't think he'll ever be a quote-unquote babyface. I just don't think that per se. But with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about Friday Night Smackdown. Thank you everybody who joined us here and follows us on twitch.tv/PWUnlimited, and all of you that have subscribed as well. You can also follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And follow us on Twitter @PWUnlimited. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter @TimmyBuddy. Next time we will be live here on Twitch, I want to say is going to be Monday for the Monday Night Raw review. So with that, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you for Raw on Monday.